Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Fernando Mello. I'm a 21-year-old college student pursuing a degree in biochemistry, and what you're seeing in the background as I ramble for a bit and introduce myself and my vision for the channel is the process of creating my first ever digital artwork on Procreate. This is a sort of passion project of mine. I'm not really sure what to expect from it, but when I was a lot younger I was convinced that I would be an artist. At the time, around 5th or 6th grade, it was almost exclusively pencil drawings, and I was inclined to a lot of the same things I still find interesting and fun to draw today. As I went through school, got a bit older, I fell into the trap I feel a lot of artists encounter at some point or another. I began looking at other artists that I respected, not as inspiration but in comparison to my own work, and even knowing I was much younger and less experienced, I still had convinced myself that I didn't have much talent in art, or I didn't have the determination and ambition that I think I'd need to survive in such a cutthroat competitive business. So I quit. My portfolio of new drawings waned to fewer and fewer pieces until I didn't even find much enjoyment in it at all and focused my attention on other things. After entering college, though, I regressed into some of my old interests and decided to experiment with oil painting, a subject I had never really looked into, again because I had a preconceived notion that it was too complicated or too difficult and I should just stick to what I knew with drawing instead. I was never formally trained in art outside some elective classes in middle and high school, which is my idea of the typical backstory for an unsteady aspiring artist, but I knew some fundamentals surrounding painting in general and other forms of artistic media. Delving into oils, though, YouTube videos were no doubt my trusty catalyst to progress. I would look at as many tips and tricks as I could, trying to understand mediums, the composition of the paint, principles of thin to thick, whether I should varnish, how to even apply a varnish, when to apply it, as much as I could. And as I learned, I began to see a lot of delicate intricacy. That actually made me more motivated to continue and improve, since I was just doing this stuff for myself anyway. There was no need to be concerned with failure. So now, reinvigorated with some artistic gusto, proud of some of the things I'd learned and done, I fell into another trap, a new trap this time. I discovered even more complex world of digital painting. And I mean, that just set me off for real this time. The effects people would create, the perfect line work, the hyper dramatic lighting, all that. I was just bewildered at how outstandingly talented some people were. So, over the summer of my senior year in high school, I worked as an Uber Eats driver as often as I could, trying to get some money to indulge my interests a bit more. I bought a new monitor, a ton of food, and importantly, an iPad Pro with the fancy stylus and Procreate. This was my first independent big boy purchase. I felt very official. I did my research to try to find the best angle of attack in the digital painting world. I thought to myself, how am I supposed to get into this? And I figured since I could justify the iPad as a school-related purchase, that Procreate would be my best introductory bet. I'd seen a lot of very talented people working with it, so I committed myself to now learning as much as I could about that. All background aside, my iPad finally arrived, and this was my first stab at applying some of the things I had seen. Not that bad of an attempt, I think. My mom really liked it. Over time, I slowly pushed myself to revive the artistic sector of my brain from the years I had shut it out. I'll post my progress here, and for all to see and criticize and berate me for using the wrong brush setting or whatever. I hope you find my pursuit at least a bit entertaining, if nothing else. And I hope too that if you yourself are an unsteady, aspiring artist, or whatever your interest may be, that you consider subscribing and returning here for updates on the new tips I learn, the new tricks I can share from having failed on them myself, and the new art that I make. I really appreciate your appreciation, and thank you for watching.